So the first thing that I'm going to get started with is how to make graduation posters and banners. And with the posters and banners, you can use them to either make magnets to stick on cars. So if we have a school that's doing like a drive-through graduation for their students. So they're going to make a poster for each car and they can stick it on the cars. You can also do signs for if you want to do fundraisers where your parents can buy like congratulations signs for the yards. You could do that as well. And you can also just do signs and banners for your school. So if you want to make a big banner to congratulate your graduates, especially after the crazy year that we've had, you can definitely do that. So I'm going to start with poster artists. And, you can use any type of outside resource to make these posters as well. But I'll start with poster artists just because that's our main software that comes with the Learn OnDemand system. All right. So in poster artist, I'll just start with a poster first. There's a couple templates that you could use to customize as well if you want to do that. So under fundraising, if you wanted to do a poster with a picture of like your students, then you could use one of these posters and you could change around the letters and font. So I'll just choose this one and then I'll show you how you can easily customize these for different events. Even though this one is a sports poster, you can change it however you need to. So if you wanted to, you could change the year on this football to 2021. And you could remove this football just by deleting it. So if you want to up here, you could say congratulations or class of 2021. And then you could put the graduate's name at the bottom. So now if you wanted to, this image here, if you want to add in the picture of the student, you can either bring that in. If you double click on the photo, it'll bring up the photo section to where you can add and replace this photo. So if you have pictures of your students, you can either get them off of your flash drive. If you want to, you can also use the scanner. So if you minimize this and then open Poster Artist Quick Copy. So if you have an actual printed out picture of your student that maybe that you ask your parents to bring in a picture, you could even bring in a picture of like when they were little and compare it to their like yearbook photo now. You could bring that in and you can put it on the scanner and you can scan it. See. So I don't have a photo in my scanner. I have a document, but the same concept will still apply to your photograph. So now it's scanned. You can hit edit with poster artist. So now it's going to scan it a second time and it'll bring it into poster artist for you. And it should put it right on that template. All right, so now we replaced the photo that was in there with my scanned document. So if this was your student photo, you could add that in there. If you wanted to, you can also change the frame that's on this picture. So if you select that photo and go to frames, which is next to photos, you can choose any of these frames that are in here. So if you want to, you can just double click to preview it. You can change the frame colors as well. So if you want this one, you can go to custom and you could choose any color that you would like. If you know your school's RGB colors, you can also add those in and add them to your custom colors. If you don't know how to find those, you can easily do that using your computer. You can use your snipping tool. So if you open up the snipping tool, you'll hit new, and then you can just select the area. So if you had your school mascot right here, you can snip that. So now you can hit edit and copy. And now you just want to open up Paint. So now when you're in Paint, you can hit paste. And then you would use the dropper color picker tool. And like say that this color was your mascot. You just select there. And then when you hit edit colors, it's going to show you your red, green, blue right here. So in Poster Artist, you would go in here and you would put in your numbers. So now if you want to add the custom colors, there's your RGB color, and it's going to change your frame for you. You can also change your backgrounds on here. So if you want a different background, you could do that. You can add any of these backgrounds in here. And any of these, you can change the color of these as well. So you could, again, if you wanted to do your school colors, like if you have green and black or, green and blue, whatever your color combinations are, you could easily do that and change that in here. So if you want to, you can add in like a graduation cap on here. I don't believe we have one in the clip art. So the easiest way that you would be able to do that would just be to open up Google and you could search for an image. So I would search graduation cap clip art, and then you can go to the images. So from here, you could choose any of these that you would like. Let's see, that one's a little fuzzy. Here we go. So I'm just going to copy this image, and then I'm going to paste it in here. So now if I want to remove the background, you can double click on that. And the first option under edit image will be your cutout image. So you can hit auto and you can adjust how that image will look in here. So there's your graduation hat. So now you can adjust the size and you can hit the green circle if you want to rotate it. So now if it's the size that you like and you want the you want it to be behind the numbers, you can right click and you can order it forward and backward until you get it exactly where you would like it. So now if you want to, you can rotate this as well and just get your poster exactly how you would like it to look. So now all you would have to do would be to go to print. You can always uncheck this box to save you a minute. The print preview will look exactly like it does on your screen. So if you're going to, say if you're going to just do a regular poster, or if you're going to laminate your poster, then I would just keep it on standard. If you have our magnet material, or you can do this on canvas or vinyl, those are all materials that we have at our PSS store. Then I would change this print quality to high, so that way it's going to be nice and smooth on that thicker material, and the quality will be just a lot better on that thicker material. So you won't have any streaks or anything just because of how thick that is. So now you could hit print. So let's see. So this is a full-size poster. If you didn't want this to be a full-size poster, if you want to do like our half size instead, you can see on the wall behind me that this one right here is your full size, so it's pretty large. So if you wanted the half size, that's your, it's almost 17 by 24. If you want, you can do exactly 17 by 24 by doing the A2 plus. So now you could hit print and it'll go ahead and print out for you. And again, each time it prints, it'll show you all of your ink levels. So now if you want to change out this picture, all you have to do is select it. And then you'll just open up Poster Artist Quick Copy again. So now if you add another student photo in here, you can hit preview. And now you'll hit edit with poster artist again. So now it will have changed out this picture. So now at this point, you can just change out your student name and you can continue to print these. So you could do this as many times as you need to, or if you've got a picture of the students and a digital copy, you can add and replace. It's probably a lot easier if you have the digital picture of the student. So you could add in your pictures digitally as well. So you could always have parents like email you a picture of their students. That might be a little easier, and you can just open it up and either save it on a flash drive and add it to the computer, or you could open your email directly from that computer if it's connected to the internet. So you could also do your banners this way. So we have some banners that are already in here. If you want to save this template for future use, then you can either hit yes there, or what you can do is you can add to templates. And if you want to make a graduation category, you can do that. So in the future, you could just open this template right back up and it'll be exactly how you left it. And it'll be in your poster artist software. All right, so now I'm going to open up this banner. So this would be the same as the other one. If you have a picture of your student, a class picture, anything like that, you can easily edit out this photograph by adding or replacing it, and you can easily change your text in here. You can also change any of these fonts to anything that's in Poster Artist, and you can get this exactly how you would like it to look. So it's really easy to make your banners and your posters in here. You can also use outside sources. So a lot of teachers like to use Canva. So if anybody has Canva or has any experience with Canva, there's actually some graduation templates in there. So any of these, you can easily customize these as well. Like, we are so very proud of you, things like that you can make. So if you wanted to, say if you wanted to use this one, I don't believe that you can print directly from Canva, but if you use Canva, you can change out your photographs, you can change out your colors in here, along with your text and any of the clip art elements in here as well. So if you wanted to do this at home, you could do that. And all you would have to do is you can download this. And I would just download it as either a PNG, which will be a higher quality, or you can do a JPEG. So now if you download this, you could save them all to a flash drive or email it, whatever's easiest for you. So now you could easily bring that into Poster Artist and print it directly to your printer. So now I would choose whatever size that your original poster was. So now you can add or replace that photo that you created. So if you want to make this your complete poster, you'll just hold down Shift and drag it, and it'll keep its proportions correct. So I didn't pay attention to the size before I downloaded it. There we go. So there's many other resources that you can use to create your posters as well. You can do Photoshop, as long as it's a photo document, PNG, I believe SVG or JPEGs, you can add that in as a photo into Poster Artist. And you could still save this template. So if you want to add to templates, you could save this. That way, if a parent wants to order some more of this one, especially if you're doing a fundraiser, you could easily print more and sell more posters. So now I'm going to show you a couple different ways on how you can make cutout signs. And I'll show you. So this is that real simple one that we made in Poster Artist. And I'll stop sharing just for a minute so you can see it a little closer. So this is our magnet material. This is a pretty new material that we just started selling not long ago. So you can see it's magnetic. It'll stick to cars. So if you want to make posters that parents can stick to their cars, you can do that. So, and you could make it any size that you would like.
What size is that?
So this is the A2 or the half size. And one reason we do the A2 and the A1 is just because your poster paper and your magnetic paper, the vinyl, the canvas are all going to be 24 inches wide. So that way you're not wasting any white space on the side. Like if you did an 8.5 by 11, you're going to have some white space over here. But what you could do is you could also use free layout and you can layer these together. So I can show you that as well. So with this one, if you wanted to make different ones, and you can save them all using all the different student pictures. So if you create your poster, add a template, change the photo, change the name, and have all of your templates already pre-made, you can go to number 2 paper options and you can hit edit layout with free layout plus. So now when you go to print, it'll open up a separate box instead of printing, and it'll open up free layout for you. So with free layout, it's going to bring your poster template in here. So all you have to do to add more would be just to go back into Poster Artist and say if this was a different one, it could be the same template with just the different pictures in there. Each time you pick your other template that you've already created, you'll just go back to For Print and you'll hit Print. And it's going to add it into here as another document. So now you could put as many as you would like to in here of all your different students, and you could hit free layout. So now it's going to bring your posters in here. And if you want to make them that smaller size, you'll just click and drag until you get the size that you would like. And you can also rotate these. So if you want 2 side-by-side smaller ones, you can do that just by clicking and dragging and then rotating. So essentially you could add in as many of these as you would like and just arrange them however you need. So that way when it prints out, you could just cut it if you don't have the magic cutter. If you do have the magic cutter, then you could add those into the magic cutter as a cut template. So it's only going to print where you have your template. It's not going to print any of that extra white space. So essentially you're making a collage in here, and then you could just cut it out. So if you're done with this, you could just hit File, Exit, and then under number 2, you're just going to uncheck this box. So if you do have our magic cutter, there's a couple of different ways that you could make those signs. You can open up Poster Artist. And here's an example of a sign. So this is just one really simple and easy to make. So this is on premium paper that we've laminated. And once you laminate it, it's going to be fine to go outside so it can get rained on and it would be fine. And then I just went and bought some of these H brackets that you can stick in the ground from Lowe's. They were like $1 something a piece. So you can easily make your own lawn sign. So I know last year that was a really big thing since so many students were at home. And this year you can even make, one that says graduation and have each letter just be on a very large letter on one bracket. So there's many different ways that you can do this. And all I had to do was just cut a hole in it and put a zip tie in it, and it's going to stay just fine. So if you wanted to do something like that, you can either do that in Poster Artist. So you go to your text and you can add in your text. So you could say, congrats. And you can add in another one, grad. So now you would just edit your fonts how you would like. And you can actually scroll through once it's highlighted and see what it's going to look like on your poster. So I'm going to go down to Yearbook Solid. I like that one. So now if you wanted to, you can create bubble letters in here as well, just by going to your text effects. So like this one I had is blue on the inside and then black around it. So you would just add an inner stroke. And if you want to, you can add another stroke and you can change that color. If you want to do your school colors, you can do that. And you can adjust how that's going to look. And each time you adjust it, it'll show you in this preview area. So once you do that, you can just resize it. And then this layer, I'm just going to right click and order it to the front. So it's going to be on top. Okay, so now I've got this. So all I have to do is to go File, Save as JPEG. So now I'm going to save this. So now if I want to bring it into Magic Cut Studio, I'm just going to open up Magic Cut Studio and I'll start a new project. So I'm going to do the 24 by 36. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So now since I have a JPEG image, it's not going to automatically cut that out. So what you can do is you can use some of the free resources that will remove the background for you, such as remove.bg. It's a free site that you can upload your images and it'll remove the background for you. So you just go to wherever you have that template saved. There we go. So now it's removed all of my background for me. So I'm just going to download that. All right, so now I'm going to go to File and Import. And it's going to be under your downloads. All right, so here's my image here. So I'm just going to hold down Shift and I'm going to make that bigger. And you just want to make sure with your cut patterns that you're staying under your 3-inch margin on the top and your 2-inch margins on each side. So if I want to now, I can either preview it and see all the cut patterns. If I want to make sure that this is a little bit thicker, what I can do is I can go, after I have the object selected, I can go to Path and Offset Path. So now it's going to create a bubble around my letters. So you can adjust if you want that to be regular, rounded, or beveled, just according to however you want it to look. And you can choose how big you want that bubble to be. So now when you preview it, it's going to have a cut pattern around your letters. So that way it's a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to make sure it's still in my margins. Okay. So now I'm going to cut this out. So I'm going to hit Cutter, Print and Cut, and then Print. And I'm just going to make sure that my properties are set up so that my page size matches my mat size. Yours should be already set up, but I always like to double check. Now, if you want to print this object on a magnet to go on a car or your vinyl, any other material like that, then I would change your print quality to high. If you're going to do this on regular paper, you can definitely leave that on standard, especially if you're going to laminate it. So now I'm just going to hit OK, and it's going to go ahead and print that out for me. You can also easily bring into Magic Cut Studio anything else that you want to. So if you've got other PNG images that you want to add in, you can do that. So if you wanted to add in a graduation cap, you can do that. So I'm just going to search for one. You could do this with anything. So if you wanted to make a teacher appreciation sign or teacher appreciation banner, magnet for their car, you could do any of this as well. All right, so I'm going to save this one. And I'm just going to, again, I'm going to go to remove.bg. All right, so now I'm going to download that. So now I just have to go File, Import, and it'll be the first one in my downloads. So now I can just adjust that size. And if you want to with this object, you can add an offset path and you could add that bubble around it. So now you could print and cut that out as well. You can also use the Magic Cutter to create, if you want to do like 3D cards to send home with your graduates, you can do that. I've got an example back here. So we found this file at one of the, what do we call it? The Magic Cutter content sites. That's on the Excel file that should be on the desktop if you have Magic Cutter. So this was from one of the, I think it was Canon Creative Park. So this is a card that we downloaded the PDF and just remove that background. And then we use the cutter to make this pop out 3D card. So there's all kinds of things that you can do with a cutter. It's not just limited to making signs and bulletin boards, anything like that. You can make any kind of cute 3D things. So now I've got mine printed out. And again, this is on magnet, but you could easily do this on your laminated paper. And then you would just cut it out and you could attach it to your signs. So I'll show you how to cut it out. And even if you don't have the Magic Cutter, this might be something that you would like in the future that would make things a lot easier. You wouldn't have to take the time to cut this out. If you don't have the Magic Cutter, you could cut this out by hand if you would like to. So I'm going to insert this in here. All right, so it's going to be 3 for sheet. So now it just reads the size of my paper. And now I'm just going to move my blade so that it's in that first 90-degree angle. The first registration mark should be a number 1. So that's always going to be in your bottom right corner. So now I just want to change my condition number. And in the Magic Cutter Manual, Chapter 8 is where you're going to find all of your conditions. So we've got the magnetic in here. So that's going to be a condition 4. And it's going to be 8 marks down on your blade. So I'm just going to adjust that. I'm just going to hold down Enter, hit number 4, and the condition will be set. So now I'm just going to check my blade. And I'm just going to put it in the loop holder and twist the top. So now it's all the way down where I need it. I'm just going to insert it back in here. So now I just have to go back into my software and open up the template that I have. So I'm just going to hit next and then start scan. Once it's done, release that. And it's cut it out for me. Just gonna set this down. It's a little bit heavy. All right. So now it's got some little pieces on the inside that it cut out, so I'm just gonna pop those out. All right, so here's my sign. So if this is magnet, you can put it on cars, you could put it on your buildings. Again, if this was your premium laminated paper, if you laminate it with a cold lam, it's fine outside. If you've got the hot laminator, then I'm not sure how that laminate would do outside. But if you have the cold lamination, that one is definitely waterproof. So if you had the sign, you could just poke a couple holes in it and you can set it on these H frames. And like I said, I just got these from Lowe's. They were pretty cheap. So now you could stick this on whatever surface you plan to put it on. So this is kind of magnet, so you can set that right there. You could also do, if you want to do something for your cars, you could use the repositionable paper. And as long as you have the 205, that ink's going to be waterproof. So you could do bumper stickers, you know, the magnets, they would be waterproof. If you have the 610, the older system, or the 1.0 as we call it now, you can, I believe you can still print on that magnet. It's just not going to be waterproof. So I would just keep an eye on that, you know, make sure that you use it when it's not going to be outside or rainy. But if you're using it indoors, it would be perfectly fine for that. It's been a pleasure having everybody, and I hope that these help you with your graduation or teacher appreciation, end of the year, anything that you plan on making these signs for, you could easily do that. So thank you all for joining.